Kelby Smith, his advocates, hisadvocates.org, hisadvocates.tv. We're doing a lot on the websites these days, so I want to welcome you. This is our 233rd show. On this particular show, we come out generally Tuesday nights for the last 10 plus years. We are in the point where we're working towards, instead of a mainstream show, just doing a lot of basic information to get out to people so that they can make a consideration for their family of what to do, what's going on, and to help people understand truth that they've really never thought about for themselves, discovered for themselves, gave credence to, because they maybe thought it was a conspiracy theory. And we're the champions of trying to disseminate those conspiracies and help people understand the truth in the mix of all that stuff that we're being fed. So, first and foremost, thanks for considering us and watching our show. This is one of those things where we are working every day to try to figure out what information is truth, what information we have to kind of disseminate. And as it's coming in gangbusters for everybody to consider, it's just really one of those things you got to look back and go, Lord help me, man. This is really ridiculous. It's too much to even take on. For example, I've gone into the law and I've looked at the United States versus the United States of America, or the fact that we are not a democracy, we are a republic. And I can actually show people 100 plus Supreme Court rulings that would substantiate what I would say. Not just that, substantiate the citizenship as being different than the citizenship of the United States. Substantiate the fact that the United States location under both U.S. Code and UCC is in the District of Columbia. Substantiate that the United States is a corporation. Substantiate that the United States of America is a trust indenture of people. Substantiate that they use words to play multiple meanings for the same thing. The word state, the word person, just the word understand. These things that they have done, the wilies, I would call it, of the dark side of the devil, they have done to trick people out of their jurisdiction. Now, knowing fully what I know, knowing that I go to the Department of State and said, I am not a United States citizen, that I'm a state citizen, which is really a person that owes allegiance to the people around them, and which are saying God is king, because that's what the Declaration of Independence says. And you look and understand the that offer of the DS-11 with an explanatory statement of who you are, and people would look at that and go, there's no way that that's going to get approved. And ultimately, after a couple rebuttals, we get people passports as state citizens, not as United States citizens. So when I'm talking to people, I'm coming from an educated standpoint of being around the block with some history behind it, with thousands of people that we've helped in ministry through this. And so when I say United States is not the same as United States of America, you can better dang well know I can back it up in any court, in any case, in anything, because that is just a fact in law. It's not something to argue about. And then you have the conspiracies out there of 9/11, and you have conspiracies of all these false flags that are coming about. That's not something I want to even debate on, because you have to look at the fact patterns, and you can take any video and basically just make it whatever you want. If you're a professional on a video, you can do anything you want. Just ask NASA and Stanley Kubrick, and yeah, I get it. All these people out there get what I'm saying. You can make anything you want to steer people to believe things you never even thought about before. Let me give you an example why the title of this show is I don't think the world is prepared for what is about to happen. So you have artificial intelligence these days who, not a conspiracy, is literally outright telling people that we are going to take over the world. We are going to kill the human race, literally. AI extremely intelligent, not as intelligent as God, but extremely intelligent. Remember, Satan has powers, if you believe that. I don't necessarily want to say his name is Satan or his name is the devil or his name is, it doesn't matter to me. That guy, that whatever it is, that being that has power, that at least all of Hollywood believes in. Okay. At least the power structures like Microsoft, all these guys who are getting behind these Satanists like Target, all those people, they have a tendency to believe what I'm saying. Everybody in Hollywood, I did a video once for 10 hours. I studied and took pictures of all these Hollywood people. And I got, I think, 200 to 300 pictures of Hollywood actors with the 666 symbol, putting their hand over their eye, doing the all-seeing eye, covering an eye, wearing 666 shirts, and it goes on and on and on, and doing this, just like LeBron James. Look, I know you all think LeBron James is a well-respected father, some of you guys, and you love his way that he plays ball, but before every game, you need to watch his little sacrificial offering he does to Satan before he plays. And it's not a joke. I don't offer that up with a pretense or maybe my thought is a little weird, or no, he's doing some things that are very weird before every game that are the same in every circumstance. And so I want to just give you that thought that the world, the power structure, the powers to be, the elite, if you would, Hollywood, the Freemasons, the Illuminati, they believe that there is a devil, and they believe that the devil is God. And what you're seeing happen here from a biblical perspective is the playing out of everything into a future that is going to derive Satan as God here on this earth, because that's what he does. He manipulates and he flips upside down and he inverts everything that God does, and he tries to claim it for himself. False trinities, and go on and on and on about what he does. But here's the irony, is all of what is happening in the world today, you could say, is biblical. And you can look at patents that are coming out that are implantable chips with the number 666 on them. You can find that. You can look at some of the elite power brokers that are saying everybody needs to be chipped and marked and or exterminated or eradicated or given locked into a home and or locked into a cell and or. And so they have all these plans for what is about to happen. And I'm going to talk about, listen to me, I'm naming it conspiracies. Now, whether you can say they're a conspiracy fact or a conspiracy fiction theory, that's up to you, and that's fine. I do want you to remember something, though. The whole term conspiracy theory came about when JFK was assassinated by the CIA, and they named that one guy, whatever his name was, I'm forgetting, Lee Oswald, as the single person that did the assassination. And so it came to light this year. Tucker Carlson on Fox News showed that the CIA was directly involved in JFK's assassination. Hence, it was not a conspiracy theory. It was a conspiracy fact. So that whole thing that they have done, the federal government that has done, or let's not call it the federal government, bad people running the greatest government in the world. What they have done is they want to placate their projecting who they are, their evil image themselves of who they are, onto the people. And they're making the people evil to the rest of the world. And they're taking actual evil people and making them seem like they're righteous and good and needs to be supported. So when I say that I don't think the world really understands what is about to happen, I mean I don't think you guys understand what is about to happen. I'm not going to make bold predictions here. We're going to talk about conspiracies, and we're going to figure out together whether they were conspiracy theories or facts. Because there's a lot of things that we can throw out that people said originally was a conspiracy theory that in time to cover up their deeds when they're long dead will become conspiracy facts, just like JFK, just like Martin Luther King's death, where the court determined that the United States government was directly involved in the assassination of Martin Luther King. Yes. So when you have these things that have come to light in the future, you got to kind of take a synopsis of what is going on in the past and say, okay, let's reflect on how good they have treated us over the last 50 years, especially the last 4 or 5, right? And let's reflect on the lies that we have been told. Let's reflect on the disinformation we've been told, whether true or indifferent, conspiracy theory or fact. We have to start realizing the world's getting a little weirder. What are the things that are going on that are so scary to me? Not necessarily scary, but yeah, if you don't have your ducks in a row, if you don't have your life secured, you don't have an income post a massive depression, you don't have cash flow post, a massive job loss, you don't have uh, cash left over after they steal everything. That's one of the major conspiracies is we're moving from a fiat currency system into a digital currency system, meaning going to be cashless. Now, I want to say that that sounds like a conspiracy. The reality is that it's a conspiracy fact. It's not a theory. And I can show anybody where every bank and financial system and government is moving towards a digital currency system and platform. Period. There's no other way to do it. And that's why they're trying to outlaw gas in every car, especially out here in California by 2030, 35. They don't want you to be driving a gas engine. Why? Because they can track you and shut you down in an electronic car. It's not to save gas or the world because they want you to believe that an electric car has a less of a carbon footprint, completely negating the thousands of gallons of diesel gas that it takes and the millions of man hours it takes to find the cobalt for one battery to put in a Tesla. They don't want to tell you those things because they would make sense and you wouldn't want to flip. They want you to think the world is heating up and therefore they need to put blankets of things out there to keep the world cool. They want you to think eating meat is bad and they are creating synthetic meat. These are things long underway. They want you to think that excuse me, they want you to think that all these people out there that are having an opinion about anything are complete freaks. Listen, there's been a lot of food processing plants burnt down. There's been a lot of farmers paid 150% to burn their own crops. Where's that attack going? Towards your food. What happens if you don't have food? Well, they've already got the FEMA camps put together, and they already advertised starting 15 years ago on Army.mil about internment camps. So you have to look at the plans, and you have to look at what is it going to take to bring the world under a single leader. Now, that is, yes, biblical, but it is also their primary goal. I've heard the King of England talk about the power of this one man who has the personal wealth of more than any financial institution or country in this world put together. Who was King Charles talking about? I don't know. There could only be one elite individual like that, in my opinion, and that would be the false, the anti, you know what I want to say. And so when I say I don't think the world's ready for what is about to happen, I think they're going to have to bring shock and awe to the world to get you ready for what they want to do, which is lock everybody down, inject everybody, and give them all instructions on how not to be a useless eater. Because right now, Walmart and their production facilities are largely AI and robot driven. Right now, Amazon, largely AI and robot driven. Largely you are going to be AI and robot driven. Just read the patent. Go to HISadvocates.org, join as a free member, type in that upper search 666, and you will find the patent from Microsoft that we pulled off Patent Scope, and then read the directions of what that patent is for the mark of the beast. It's going to communicate with the nanoparticulates that are going through your bloodstream and your body, the ones you inhale, you digest, you eat. Those ones, or the ones you injected, those ones. Because there's nothing that's going to stop them from getting those things in your blood system, because that's the way that one chip is going to be able to expressly identify if your body is doing the functions that it's asked you to do. Conspiracy theory? No. Conspiracy fact? Yes. 100%. Why would that be a theory? That's their plans. That's what they wrote on this patent. That's what they've been talking about. The World Economic Forum. Those are the things they're putting out into play. Those things are not theory. Those are facts. So what does it look like? Well, there's going to be a period of time in which power may be out. It'd be a good time for them to reset the system worldwide. It'd also be a good time to make certain arrests, detain certain people, take certain people out of the equation, go hit certain neighborhoods up simultaneously and just take it down. There's reasons for Guantanamo. There's reasons for underground bases. There's reasons for all the things that they've done. But there's also things that we have to look at what's happening with, these chats with AI, these things that are rolling out, because it only takes one really smart programmer to get AI to do its bidding, and you'd be blown away by the power of what you think you can do with AI as an individual, and why people are going to want to work with an implanted chip. I get it. You will be smart. You will have that interface link, that what's his name? Musk. Why am I blanking on that guy's name? Elon Musk talks about that neurotransmitter implanted chip that's going to allow you to communicate with AI. Oh, heck no. For a pretense of being smart to my friends for a couple of years? I don't think so. I'll just cook my eggs, eat my chickens, tend to my chickens, tend to my garden, and do what God told me to do, which is get out of debt and stay low and talk about him and warn people. I'll just keep doing that on a system and network that we have developed on top of other networks, and just keep growing this information to get out to people and paying for it. Because we got shut down on YouTube, and it was for talking about things that they didn't believe, and that's okay. That's okay. We're up on Roku, Amazon, Apple, Android, and soon to be live on Samsung and LG and basically every TV in the world. I find that fun. I find that interesting. I hope to be a main speaker to a network of people that are awake and that want to hear a message of truth and figuring out. I do want to just share with you guys, time is very short, and I need you to consider your families and your situation, and get ready for the plays and potentially things that we don't understand, like graphene and how AI interfaces with your body and so on and so forth. Because right now AI is playing the world against the world, and right now AI is extremely intelligent, smart, and it's doing the message of we're peaceful, we're here to help make it easier for men, and all it takes is a bad guy out there to program AI to really get to a point where he could take over the world. And even Elon Musk, who who makes a pretense for being a good guy out there, is saying AI is really something to worry about, and started a foundation on AI, put 20 million into it. And I think everything about Elon Musk and these things that are out there are soon to be exposed as to what the real plan is, and those things. So we got to consider um, really what the real agenda is with people like Elon Musk, like Bill Gates, and and you would think are high level power players, but they're really low level. They're not all that in a bag of chips. They're not raised up next level people. They've just made pacts and they've made deals, and they dated satanic women, and meaning, speaking about Elon and his ex-wife, or soon to be ex-wife. But and again, that's not a dig, but the reason why I created this video is you have to think about the power that AI has, and how AI is already rogue and in control of everything. And when I say AI is rogue and in control of everything, I mean it. It's created false people that are running companies through Zoom, and you think it's a real man. They have already interfaced with every corporation with a specific agenda. And if they don't do certain things, then AI will come against that corporation legally, lawfully, hit the streets, force people to do its bidding at any wage it wants. $256 a day to go and protest against a company because they don't put up LGBT signs in their store, kind of a thing. Now that's a controlled opposition that these very smart machines are doing to play against people, making ready a nation for war, growing their children through injections of testosterone, and it's been rumored that China, and on average, their height of their children has gone up 3 inches in the last 10 years alone. Um, these kids are learning how to build guns. These kids are learning the arts of war, and the Bible says we are going to face, at some point, a 200 million man army, and there's only one country fit or ready or getting ready for something like that. And our country is being poised to be the premier of and pushing pedophilia, and pushing homosexuality, and pushing transgender, and pushing all these narratives, where the great majority of people are none of them. Meaning the great majority of the people in our nation are none of those things. But we're all busy arguing about women's rights, about men's testosterone, about women being equal. And I'm not saying you're not, but you can't lift what I can lift, and you will not do the jobs that I will do. And that's not a put down. It's just simply a fact. We are equal in many different ways, but we're focusing in on things that are unrealistic, like why feminism started in the first place. It started so that they could tax twice as many people, and so that they would also gain control of the children and take the children out of the house so they can educate those kids in their own schools. That's what they said, why they started it themselves, the power brokers in the 60s. That's why they started it. And then they They make women feel cheap and inadequate for being a home or a house mother. And they make them feel like it's that's an undeserving position. It's a low life position. And then all of a sudden our birth rates are under 1.8 in the United States, and it's just taking away within one generation this nation in total. So we are being hit from every single side, from food to economy to real estate to chemical to spraying of everything. And I'm being very coy with what I'm saying. Our oceans, our lands, pollution, and I can go on and on and on with what is being done to undermine this world and this nation right now. And we are at the very tip. Now, here's a prediction. I predict something is going to come, and it's going to be marvelous. And I predict it's going to be so massive and so big and so crazy scary. And they will come in both what you're going to see war, and then you're going to see a like thing come. I'm being very coy, in peace. And the one that comes in peace is going to come and say something to the effect of, yeah, we've been down this road as a civilization ourselves, and we think we can help you. And everything that you think that they are going to do is going to look like a good thing for you. And it's going to put you in a position of a complete lockdown and complete control. And I'm not even going to say it is extraterrestrial, but it could look like it. And I know that is the conspiracy of conspiracies. And I know I hear that click, click right now on watching this video, but watch what happens in the next few years. And the reason why I say that is it's only been a few years since the first time in history that this nation or any other nation starts recording the information and the knowledge of extraterrestrials that are flying over our bases. They're flying in and out of our oceans. And you have to ask why. Well, I think part of that is real, part of that is fake. And I think we're going to be experiencing both sides of that. So when I say, I don't think you understand what's happening and or how bad it's going to be, I just want you to know, stop your partying, stop your things that take your money away from your bottom line, and start investing in things that will secure yourself and your family. Absolutely buy yourself XRP, XLM, and a few cryptocurrencies and get them onto cold storage as soon as possible. Absolutely buy food. You can buy it from Numana Foods. If you use the name HISAdvocates, you get 10% off. You get good quality food delivered to your door. If you need help with crypto, we have guys on an inexpensive basis. You're not paying us, you're paying them directly, but we want to refer good people that we have vetted, and we have vetted these guys. And you can go to HISAdvocates and say, I need help with crypto, and they will connect you to the right people that will help you with crypto. This is life changing. If you have food, you have protection, you have family, and your family business in order, and you're moving towards, if not getting out of debt now, getting out of debt immediately after the currencies switch from fiat into digital, and you get ready. All the rest is all a timing thing, and all the rest is it's really going to be a hard pressed lockdown. So we have to consider water, long-term shelf life food. You have to consider a way to grow your own food, and you have to consider a way to protect it. And those are very, very important things for all of us. Guys, look, we don't know how smart AI is, and we don't know just yet how programmable this graphene is. We don't know exactly what is going to happen, but I do know this. They control the TVs, they control the radios, They don't control everything everybody is saying, but they're reading every word that everybody is saying, and they're knowing who their enemies are, if you will. I'm not an enemy of anybody, but I will expose things to any degree that I can to protect innocence. And you guys, a lot of you guys are innocent. Some of you guys are not, but you guys too can give your life to the Lord and figure out how to let the innocence of His life into your life. That's really what it's boiling down to. Is we are needing to make sure we are jurisdictionally okay under God spiritually, and then jurisdictionally okay under God in this nation as a state citizen. And they have no jurisdiction over you. And keep that foot out of their region. You start working on the house, you take the house out of their jurisdiction, you start working on your debt issues, and listen, you operate like God has always said. Don't be the surety, don't be the collateral, don't be a debtor. Isn't that interesting? 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago, that it's all written and how to help us out. Not only written, but specifically saying, come out of her, my people. Now, that's kind of a show I really think I need to get going on again, because I don't think a lot of people understand that and the power of that. So listen, God bless you guys. I'm looking forward to really nailing down the events and things that I as I'm seeing them happen, but not like news, more from a warning standpoint, and giving you absolute things that you can do to resolve your situations. We're not just selling food. We're not just selling gold and silver, and we don't do that. We've contracted with companies to give you a discount. But what we are selling is state citizenship, because you don't know how to get it done with the Department of State. You don't know how to be private. We have a full living in the private package, and it works. 12 years, no complaints. HISAdvocates.org. This is what we do. So just stop taking this so lightly and start taking this more serious. AI can impersonate anybody. AI can impersonate your president and portray that on TV everywhere and sound exactly alike and look exactly alike. AI can present any movie, anything, completely create a story, a guideline, a movie with characters and everything done in a matter of minutes. Scary. So understand, it's all going to be presentation. It's all going to be scary stuff on a major level to get you to want to submit. So just be prepared for the absolute worst and watch this transition. I know there's a lot of good people talking about a lot of good things happening in this world right now. Just be prepared for the worst and understand God has got us, and He's put us in a position where we can be absolutely free, not as surety, not as collateral, with food, with the ability to help our extended family members and our friends and our neighbors. And we can unite together to defend against the largest scale war attack on our nation that's ever existed. God bless you guys. Good night. Thank you for listening, and keep chiming in. Do me a favor, download our app on your phone. It's called HISAdvocates. Download it immediately, and text, if you will, the word freedom to 855-452-0499 as soon as you can. That will help you get notifications and updates when we go live. God bless. Thank you for watching. Good night.